Show that Nelson Mandela Bay Metro will once again be governed by a coalition government. Numbers coming in show that there is no possibility of an outright majority, and the EFF might be kingmakers should they decide to vote with either the ANC or the DA. The ANC, which lost to the DA in the 2016 local government, is slightly leading at the moment. However, vote capturing is still continuing and the results could swing either way. For more, we cross to reporter Lerato Fekisi. Lerato, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. What does the picture look like for you on your end?
I think if you're in this room, you can literally feel the nerves that the political parties currently have, because I think you hit it on the nail when you said at this stage it is clear that there will not be an outright majority. I know that both the DA and the ANC, who I'm going to talk to shortly, were both confident that they will get a full majority in this election. But as things stand, even with capturing still happening, it doesn't seem yet that there will be an outright majority. But they are still saying they are confident that they may win an outright majority. But what will be interesting to hear from both of them now is that should there be a coalition, who are they willing to form a partner with? Because we have seen that is key to the instability or stability in the coalition. Let's just first talk to the DA's Steve Odendaal, find out from him exactly how they're feeling as a DA, who were initially the leaders here until the ANC obviously led a few minutes ago. We can see right now as it stands, obviously capturing still happening, Retief, that the ANC is leading. When we talked to you a few months ago, you were confident that you would get 50+1. Are you still saying that?
Well, we're very happy with the results as they came out. You'll see that there's a lot of subdued faces here, but you'll find a lot of cheer at the DA table. We're still very confident and things are going very well for us. There's a number of big voting districts that is still outstanding and needs to be captured. In fact, there's about 40% of the voting districts that needs to be captured. So it's still very early days. I can't understand why parties are talking about coalition governments. They've all basically conceded that they can't win. So, but we're still very confident that we're on track to an outright majority.
Speaking of coalition governments, that has been perhaps the downfall of the council here in NMB, where we have had 4 mayors in the past 4 years, and most of the political parties were saying that the reason why it was perhaps tough to work with you as a DA is that you came in with a tag that said this is a DA-led coalition. So automatically then they became the juniors of you guys. Should you guys come into a coalition now, or should there be a coalition led by the DA? What are you promising to do better so that such things don't happen again in terms of a collapse in council?
I think all parties that form part of a coalition must realize that they should always put the interests of the residents first. And I think in Nelson Mandela Bay you found that there was a number of one-man parties that got very little votes that wanted to dictate what council should do, and they wanted to be very senior within the coalition and wanted to be so-called kingmaker parties. Now, you know, the reality is it's not about positions. It is about doing what is right for the people of that specific metro or municipality. So we are not willing to talk about coalition governments at this stage. As I've said, we're still on track. We've got a number of very, very important results that still needs to be captured. And if other parties want to talk about coalition governments, they can do so, but that just means that they've conceded that they can't win and that they're not in a position to take over government in Nelson Mandela Bay.
Thank you so much, Retief. Let's bring in now the ANC's RT2 coordinator, Mr. Ngakula. We saw yesterday about 2 wards going to the DA that were previously strongholds of the ANC. How are you feeling about those 2 wards going to the DA, and what do you plan to do better maybe next time to try and win these wards back?
I think the first thing that we have to correct, Lerato, that there's no 2 wards that has gone to the DA, which were strongholds of the ANC. Ward 31, which was a ward which the ANC took from the DA in 2016, which was previously governed by the DA. That particular ward we've lost, but we've won Ward 38 from the Democratic Alliance. We've won Ward 43 from the EFF. So it becomes important that in terms of the wards now that we're presiding over is the ANC. We've moved from 36 to 37 in actual fact. So I think that becomes very important for us to clarify. If anything, people who've been confronted with a downward trajectory has been the Democratic Alliance. You go to wards such as Ward 48, the margins are so thin. Ward 40, the ANC has seen an upward trajectory in all of the wards across the Nelson Mandela. That's why we're very optimistic, cautiously so. We're still in the running, voting is still in progress, and we're quite confident that we're going to get 50+1. Hence then, we've been consistently saying coalitions at this point in time are not in our political lexicon as the African National Congress. We're in the lead now. Counting is still in progress, but as the ANC, what we've seen across all VDs, there's been a rise, comparatively speaking, to 2016. So, and it speaks to, the renewal project that is currently underway in the African National Congress, because our processes have been people-centered. They've put the communities at the center, and what we're getting is a response to that. Of course, generally, the question of the low voter turnout has affected everyone. And we're quite also, and we're quite certain, even if the campaign period had been over a protracted period of time, as suggested by Moseneke, we could have probably, what we'd be seeing in terms of a high voter turnout would be something different. But
just to break you, Loyal, the reason perhaps why we saw ourselves in a coalition in 2016 was just the people's lack of belief in the ANC. In 2016, that's why people didn't go to the polls, because they'd lost belief in now. You're now speaking of renewal of the ANC, but we've seen in the past 4 years that when it comes to voting for someone to be in council, to be a mayor, there wasn't perhaps an ANC candidate put forward. So now as we go towards the specific election or this coalition, what are you promising to do better to say now that we have seen the past 5 years being a failure, even when we were still in council as the ANC, if we do become an ANC-led coalition, is to say we get out of majority, how then do you restore hope in people who are saying we gave them a chance even during the coalition and it still failed?
Well, Lerato, I think what becomes important, in 2016 we were humbled, by the masses of our people and the residents of Nelson Mandela due to a number of variables and reasons. To some extent we're self-inflicted as an organization, and we introspected. Hence then there's been a new dispensation of processes which have been introduced in the ANC, which put the people at the center. That's why today, when we underwent our own processes, we did not even have a single toy which would go and close the regional office because of how the leadership of the ANC had interacted with the internal processes of the ANC and subjected them, to the expression and the will of the people themselves. But further, it becomes important for us to lament this point as the ANC, that since 2016, the African National Congress has not led a coalition in Nelson Mandela. The collapse of Nelson Mandela can be attributed to the Democratic Alliance and its coalition partners. Hence, then the ANC has committed itself to building better and safer communities. Hence, then the ANC has committed itself to cleaning up the city. Hence, then the ANC has committed itself to militating an environment which will ensure that there are job opportunities in Nelson Mandela. That is why our people across the VDs of Nelson Mandela, if you comparatively compare the results from 2016 till to date, you will see that there's an upward growth trajectory which the ANC is, and it reflects the confidence which the people now are beginning to reinstall in the African National Congress.
Well, that was the RTT's Luyolo saying that, if anything, there's been an upward trajectory of the ANC, with people now having hope in the ANC, saying that they should be put in power again because they believe that the ANC can turn things around. Then we also spoke to the DA's Retief Odendaal, saying, if anything, they're optimistic that they can still get an outer majority. So it's going to be interesting. I think people can speak all they want to say, but in the end, it's the votes that are going to count, and we'll see those trickling in and get to the final results just after 2 o'clock. For now, let's go back to the studio.
Thank you so much, Lerato Fekisi, coming to us there from Gqeberha in the Eastern Cape.